Hi there, everyone. This is Darren from SimNation. I'm going to just do a quick grading video for the draft. For those of you aware, we had our draft last night or yesterday afternoon for the 2055 draft. We draft the first round, and it was about an hour and a half long. In the future, we are probably going to do the first three rounds live. So if you're interested, definitely let me know. But just want to quickly go through and do draft grades. I will put a disclaimer on this. Don't get pissed off at me if I give you a low rating. A lot goes into it. You also hear cases where I'll say the player was great, but the draft pick isn't, or the player isn't good, but the draft pick was good. So let's just dive right in, and I'll go straight from there. Um, so if we look at the recap, the number one pick was Robert Reichert, who was the offensive tackle out of Oregon State. This is an A-plus pick. Simon, great job, fantastic. Really like this pick. Arizona's had the number one pick. I think last year they chose a defensive tackle. That was before Simon, but just fantastic pick. This guy's a generational player. You can't miss with him. So really strong pick here. I think this one is going to get interesting. Some people might not like this pick. I do. I like both picks that Tampa Bay made in the first round. David McKenzie is arguably the best defensive lineman in the draft. He's out of Georgia, which is Sharks' team. They pump defensive linemen out like water. Uh, 82 strength, 81 speed, 71 tackling. Uh, he's going to put a lot of pressure on Timothy Campbell, who is Carolina's quarterback, and just generally disrupt that division. So going defense at two, I think arguably you saw two of the better players come off the board. Great pick. I give this an A. San Diego, this one's a B to me, but I also understand where Joe's going with this. This is Joe Dorman. I think that he needs help on defense, and you got to pick somewhere to go. And arguably, Stephen Goolsby was the best defensive tackle that you could take. If you're going to start generating pressure on Peter and trying to slow down Peter Prince and failed reality, this is a good pick to start with. But at number three, I don't know that the value was as high as it could be. But I can't argue the pick, especially if you're trying to fulfill a need. So to me, this is a B. New York Giants, the player was an A. This is a C pick. The Giants don't need another fast wide receiver. What they need help is on defense. But CPU did this before I remembered to pause the draft. So as a result of it, they chose Floyd Hammond. He is definitely an A player. As you can see, 94 speed, 86 hands, 77 agility. Just overall, a really good player. But I don't like the pick for New York, so it's a C. Cleveland, this is a B plus for me, and it's caveated. I think Maynard McKnight is the best quarterback in the league. Was he better than Antonio Newman, who was traded away? Arguably not, but Antonio Newman also had a big contract associated with him. So I think from this perspective, Bio Eagle needed a quarterback. He went out and arguably got he went out and got the best quarterback in the draft, and the only one I felt really was a first round value. The main concern I have with McKnight is the 46 endurance. He's going to get hurt, and especially in a division that has both Pittsburgh and Baltimore who blitz the hell out of you. Uh, there's a good chance he may not ever see a full season, but again, he may, and if he does, he's just going to light it up. So this is a solid pick. I don't have a problem with it. It's definitely a B plus. The only thing that keeps it from being an A is the endurance. This is an A pick. Texans needed help with their secondary, especially if they're going to compete against Tennessee. They went out and got the best corner. This guy is a game changer. Like this pick, I'm not going to go into it too much because it's the CPU. Harold Bernier, this is a B pick for me. They needed help with speed to offset both Baltimore and Pittsburgh, but I think that the pick wasn't as good as I thought it would be. Now, the 93 speed is nothing to scoff at. That's really, really good, but overall, Bernier is not as good of a corner as maybe what Cincinnati was hoping for. So it's a B pick. Jacksonville needed help at linebacker. They're getting run over by the different teams in the South. So, and again, this is a CPU team. I think that this is a solid B pick. They filled the need. And De Los Santos will probably have a good career with Jacksonville, but I don't know that the CPU is going to use him as effectively as they probably should. So I give this one a B. This is an A pick. I love this pick from Cotton in Chicago. Nicholas Overstreet is one of the best wide receivers. I don't know if Cotton would have taken Floyd Hammond had he not been picked. But either Hammond or Overstreet just immediately upgrades your wide receiver core. Chicago needs that. They went out and addressed the need in a big way. This is a great pick, so I give it an A. So Richard Tidwell, I give this a B. I think I know what Soa's going for. He already has some really good linebackers on his team. But if he's trying to stack 4-3-4 or trying to get more linebackers for depth, it makes sense. Tidwell is a first round value, so don't read into me saying he's not. He arguably could be better than De Los Santos, but I just don't know that Miami needed yet another linebacker at this position. They did definitely go out and get one of the better ones, and it does create a circumstance where Soa would have four serviceable linebackers across his linebacking core if he ran a 3-4. So this is a B. Um, Philadelphia needed a wide receiver. They got a really good one, so I'm gonna give this a B plus, only because I don't like the fact that Kevin Spence is with Philadelphia. But unfortunately, this year I'm doing the drafting for the CPU, so I'm not going to shy away from really good computers with the CPU to try to help increase their difficulty. But at the same time, I don't know the CPU is going to effectively use the speed. And also, I'm taking a rating off because I feel like shit for robbing Kevin of his star player from Rutgers who he coaches. So that doesn't make me feel all that great as a human being. Stephen Chapman, this is a C. In full transparency, Templar didn't make this pick. I did because Templar didn't have a draft list. I had Chapman high on my draft boards. It turns out he wasn't as good as I thought he was. There may have been another cornerback who was better that could have been drafted, but this is a C pick. It does fill some of the need that Dallas has for speed in their secondary, but there may have been better players out there to pick at this range. Again, talked about this one before. This is an A pick. Carolina probably doesn't like these two picks because now you have Hyde on one end and you have what was the other dude's name? McKenzie on the other. This is a great 1-2 punch. So great job, Tampa Bay. A here as well. You got arguably the best, if not the second best. You arguably got the 1 and 2 best linemen in the draft. So this is going to create immediate pressure on quarterbacks and will help get that defense going. And there's a lot of work that has to be done in Tampa Bay, but it looks like they're off to a great start. So kudos. Uh, this is a B pick. So I know Kevin's going to get the most out of him, but Majika is a second round pick. He's not a first rounder. I do think that Kevin will get the most out of Majika, and I think with a 95 intelligence, this guy is really, really good. The only other thing I don't like about this pick is that the dude's a diva. Now he's in the right city to be a diva, but this is just a solid pick. It's just I think it's a little bit of a reach, so it's a B. Jose Laney, arguably is the best running back of this draft. So there's nothing not to like about this pick, right? The only concern I have with the Jose Laney pick is Green Bay has Boudreaux, who is a really good running back as well, but they needed depth, and I think what they did is Boudreaux is probably going to be moving to a change of pace back or to the backup. I give this an A because Laney is just a generational running back, and great job getting him in a conference where running is kind of the norm. Uh, Moffitt is a B. He fulfills the need that Indianapolis needed at strong safety. He's a good box safety. He can do some coverage. He's not as fast as some others, but for the division that they play in, uh, Indianapolis got a solid, strong safety that can guard against both the pass and the run. So that's a B. Eric Sauls, Buffalo definitely needed help on their offensive line. They play in a league with both Kevin at New York and Shark at New England, and then Soa at Miami. So they need to be able to protect their quarterback, and they like to throw the ball. So this is a solid pick. I give this a B plus. He probably was the best center available, and is definitely a first round quality. You can see he can move really, really well. Knows his position. Great pass blocker. I give this a B plus. Failed reality is in the infamous AFC West, where you have to deal with failed reality. I'm sorry, you have to deal with Joe Dorman, Peter, and Prince. They need help in the linebacking core with the ability to cover and to also thump, and they got that in Keith Green. So this is a B plus pick. Really good pick. Detroit. Detroit needed help on the defensive line. I think that this is a C pick because Traylor's not as good as he was billed as. He's probably a second, third round value. So I'll give this a C, even though I was the one that made it. Definitely not as good as I thought. He doesn't have the strength to kind of hold up against some of the lines that are in the NFC North. So C value. This one is going to get a D. Not because of Perryman. I think the word of Perryman, but Soa is really stacked at quarterback. And maybe he has plans, and in that case, just avoid the rating, please. But arguably, he traded for Denham, who is an elite quarterback, even though some may not feel that way. He has performed at an elite level. He has Carter, who's a pretty good quarterback. And then he has another quarterback that probably could arguably be better than Luke Perryman. So Perryman is essentially a third or fourth string quarterback at this point. You put a first round value, a first round pick on that pick. So to me, that is a D. Now, again, if he's going to move those quarterbacks and he's going to create a path for Perryman, I think it's good. I think Perryman needs to sit for a year anyways. And him being a second string is not a bad thing. But when you use a first round pick on a third or fourth round pick, or third or fourth string, or generally going to be a D or C in my book. So, Willis Thornton, love this pick. This is an A. Prince needs help at linebacker to compete with Peter. Went out and got arguably one of the best overall linebackers, especially at pick 21. This is a great value, so it's an A. He's got speed, he's got the ability to hit. Yeah, the first step in strength could be better, but he can work on that. Just really a solid pick for the AFC West. Seattle chose Kevin Maeda. So this is Seattle needs help with its secondary because they are in a pass happy division with well, with you have Barry who loves to throw the ball. You have Stewart who loves to run and throw the ball. And we'll learn more about Simon in this upcoming season. But Seattle chronically has needed help in the secondary, and I think that they fixed this. So I give this a B plus. Baltimore needs help in the secondary as well. Maybe get a little bit of speed. This is a B plus as well. They fulfill that need. They get a pretty fast secondary, and this is one of the things that hurt them when they lost to different teams was they just couldn't compete against the speed. The only thing that keeps us from being an A is the endurance. I think Marvin is actually a pretty good corner. It may be one of the best, but um, yeah, it's a good pick. Barry chose Harry Barry, no pun intended. Love this pick. I think this is a great pick for him. I give this an A. One of arguably the second best tackle in the draft, and to get him at 24 is a great place to pick him up. His speed isn't all that great, and that keeps him from being an A plus, but it is a solid pick, especially where we picked him. So great job, Barry. New Orleans needed a guard, so they went out and got probably arguably the best guard in the draft. At 25, this is a solid pick. It's a B plus. Great strength, good intelligence. The speed's not there, the agility's not there, but of course he's a guard. And New Orleans does like to throw the ball, so getting a pass block at this position was really good. So that's a B plus. Oakland, I really like this pick. This is an A plus. It's not because Nye's a Maryland guy, but Peter has needed some help with his secondary, especially his free safety position, especially on the young side. And he went out and got a really young guy who's only probably going to get better. So this is just a solid pick from Peter. Good job. And Nye is one of those guys who, even if he doesn't start this season, he is going to be able to play play in the box and play in coverage as well. McElroy, this is a C pick, bordering on D, maybe a D. Peter would probably say it's a D. This guy's a second, third rounder. He looked good on paper, but wasn't as good as he could be. I think Peter's already traded him away for nothing, so I'll let that be the reason why I give a D pick. Is he literally traded the guy away for nothing? So it's one of the few misses I've seen. Pittsburgh, I'm not being greedy. This is an A. He's a great replacement for Lackey, who's getting older. Great strength. He can bulldoze people. He's got agility. He's got speed. His hands could be better, but he's a solid A pick and will probably be Pittsburgh's feature back for years to come, as soon as Laney retires. Tennessee, this is Bama. I give this an A pick as well. He needed help at guard. He went out and got arguably is the best guard on paper from a balance perspective. Really good strength, good pass blocking skills, got good physical traits. His intelligence is a little bit of an issue, but he's a natural talent, so he'll only get better. So that's an A. San Francisco, I really like this pick a lot. I think this is an A. He needed help at tackle, went out and got it. Bradley is arguably right up there with Barry as the second best tackle. Really strong guy. Not really strong, but he's a really strong blocker with good intelligence and does have enough strength to compete. So great job. Athletic blocker will only get better. You can fix the morale easily. I'm not worried about that. Shark came in with Sal Freeman, mostly because I think he wanted Bradley. Bradley came off the board right in front of him. Arguably gets the smartest blocker in the draft. Good strength, good frame to learn from. May not start immediately, but will become a good blocker on time. So this is a B. In it, a few years later, when we re-rank the draft, he may be even higher. And then, of course, the last pick from Carolina was McCoy. Uh, I like this pick. Great agility, really strong first step, good speed, great tackling, can play in coverage. This is an A to me. So especially at pick 32, Invisible got a really good coverage linebacker. So overall, the draft was pretty solid. A lot of people made really good picks. It's always hard to sometimes make that. Most of the picks I wasn't fond of were either that someone was a second or third round talent, or that they were coming into a stacked depth chart. But great work from everyone, and thank you again for the time yesterday to do the draft. This is just me recapping the first round. I'll probably do another one for second round just because I need to get some videos in for WWPF. If you're interested in joining us, we do have some good teams. We are in the draft right now, but have a great night.